Welcome to Hashtag with Nabuguzi Kiwanuka. This is the place where we unravel social constructs, discuss self-development in line with mental health, and everything in between that directly or indirectly affects us in the millennial world around us. At the end of each episode, you get a chance to walk away with the will to get into your next best season. Trust me, every topic here on would never leave you the same. I am your host, Nabuguzi Kiwanuka, a lawyer, founder, team lead of Equate Foundation, an addict and lover of insightful conversations, and a professional unraveler of social constructs. If you're hearing my voice for the first time, welcome to this virtual space that you and I have always longed to be a part of. To you, the returned subscriber, I salute you. That's a kiss. Well, I salute you for always choosing to give yourself permission to shake up the status quo. So we've come to a close of the first quarter of 2021. I hope it did you good. Personally, I'm grateful for the lessons I've learned, the love I've experienced, grateful that you keep choosing to listen to this podcast, and I'm forever grateful for the numerous chances that I get to live. That is something I can no longer take for granted after having experienced the gauntlet 2020 was. And guess what? I might have forgotten on the list. The internet. I mean, you're listening to me via the internet, or maybe you downloaded and are listening offline, but you would not have been able to download that without the internet. And I wouldn't have been able to upload this episode if I didn't have the internet. Right? You and I know life's extremely hard without the internet. That's where we've come. That's how far we've come in the human race. For many of us, life revolves around it. Work, communication, shopping, traveling, ordering food, and above all, socializing and creating more networks. Let me make my own statistics. 5 in 5 millennials have been on social media and have experienced the good, the bad, and have also marveled at how their colleagues live on the internet so smoothly. In this episode, what my guests and I are going to talk about is exactly that and a lot more, There's a mix of a lot more than the internet. So take a listen. My guest this week is communication specialist, social media celebrity, sensational content creator, and all-round media consultant, Anthony Michael Mwami. Hi, Mwami.
Hi, Nabuguzi. Happy
Drum
to be
roll
here.
For yourself.
Drum roll. Although I wouldn't say social media celebrity, I'm more like a social media junkie. Really.
What's a junkie like? A
junkie is like on social media a lot. Social media celebrity is like known on social media a lot. I don't think.
Is it?
Yeah.
The celebrities are known.
Celebrities are known people, right? And
social media celebrity
are known on social media.
Exactly.
No? Yeah, and I'm like on social media a lot. I'm not like known on social media a lot, so I do not.
Is it?
Do you get me?
What's the difference? There are very many people that know you. I assume.
Yeah, you feel. I mean, it's easy to come across like that, but from where I stand, I don't think that's how it feels. Really.
So what's a junkie like? Too much on social media?
Yeah, pretty much. I'd say somebody that has time for social media like all the time. All the time.
I think those are all millennials. Millennials are social media junkies because our phones are in our hands all the time.
Yeah, it's just, I think there's people that take it the extra step to make it part of everything else in their life. Part of their work, part of,
they bring up everything
their way
on
of
there.
life. Yeah. So.
Right. So what did you want to be while growing up?
Let's see. There's a funny story about that. There's a time I was in my late father's office.
Yeah.
And his secretary came into the office and asked me what I wanted to be when I grow up.
How old? How old were you then?
I think I was 8 years old then.
Yeah.
And at that point, as she was asking me that, his juniors, my father's juniors, somehow like rotated, like just
you had a conference.
Came around me in the office. Yeah. And I said I wanted to be a DJ. I really didn't want to be a DJ at that point, which pretty much shocked everyone because my dad was a water engineer, and he was like this big deal, of course, with the people that worked under him. So when I said I wanted to be a DJ,
you knew
like,
DJs already at that age. You knew DJs at that. I didn't know any DJs.
Yeah, well, growing up, my media consumption has been pretty much a lot, which is kind of the inspiration for my work today. So I guess people that I really saw just coming off of school were DJs. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. There's another longer story on how my mom's siblings sort of addicted me to the late date and those other late night shows because we used to share bedrooms and stuff. So people like DJ Ronnie, DJ Alex, and all DJs, right. I guess give me something to look up to. Yeah.
Wow, I had never think of a DJ. Okay, I used to listen to radio when I was younger, but I wanted to hack the mystery. I used to imagine that people were seated in there. So every time they were working on a radio, I really wanted to see where's this person seated. I never imagined that. So for some reason I was like, is this thing recorded? But I never imagined myself being like that. I mean, we're in a system whereby they're just talking about doctor, engineer, a lawyer, or loser.
That's exactly what the guys at my dad's office told me. They're like, are you serious?
Yeah.
There's so many things you could be. You could be like a doctor or an engineer like your dad. I'm like, boss,
nothing excited about.
Nah, me, I want to be a DJ. And when my dad came into the office, they told him.
What did he say?
What I'd said. Of course, he shrugged it off.
So how did you come? So with the dream to be a DJ, how has it affected your life? Or better question, how did you keep evolving? How did you walk away from the need to be a DJ? Because you're not a DJ right now.
Yeah. The evolution I think has been pretty remarkable. It came from a DJ. Yeah. Then I joined St. Mary's College Chitovo for high school. Yeah. And I became the brothers. Yeah, this sort of dancer there and a rapper. So at that point, so at that point I moved from, banging classroom desks and stuff to like adding lyrics to what you're banging on the classroom desks, right? And so those lyrics sort of it grew there from writing lyrics to writing poetry as and stuff. I was a rapper. I was writing my own stuff.
I thought you were rapping stuff that already existed.
No. Like, I was doing a bit of that, but in single-sex schools, you're not really a big deal unless you can write like your own stuff.
Is it?
Right? Yeah, and you can, invent a dance stroke or two. So the DJing led to banging desks, led to writing lyrics to accompany the banging of desks. Yeah. And then the writing of lyrics grew into writing poetry. And then poetry grew into writing prose, which sort of became how I became a writer.
How early was that? Like as soon as you joined?
My senior 1, senior 2 was pretty much the banging desks and rapping stage. Yeah. Right? And then senior 2 into senior 3 was the rapping/dancing stage. Yeah. And then senior 3, senior 4, it was pretty much evident that I was going to be a bit of a writer.
Did you land the position of Mr. Shaq?
Well, the bias about those competitions was that to be Mr. Shaq, it was more of a breakdance thing. You had to be good at breakdancing, and my niche was not exactly in that field. Yeah, my niche was more of dancehall and the legendary Jabba that you've probably heard of. So I ended up being dancehall king of Shaq, and that year
dancehall king.
It was sort of renamed to dancehall king/Mr. Jabba Shaq.
With you being the dancehall king, what do you feel about?
I took that in my senior 3 into senior 4.
As a dancehall king, as a former dancehall king.
Still dancehall king, my friend.
Okay. How do you feel about?
You should be thankful podcasts are audio.
How do you feel like DJ Michael? DJ Michael is our dancehall king.
Man, DJ Michael was no, there's no gift there. Yeah.
Anyway, so there you are. You're doing, because now what I'm seeing is this is an artist. Yeah. An all-round artist. You're writing. You're getting into poetry. You're rapping. you are spoken word artist in short, because if you're doing rapping and then poetry, when it came to choice of career or courses to do at the university, how easy was it for you?
It was actually not that hard in the sense that
especially now that you were, DJing for the most part. Into music. How did you not even think about being a celebrity in the sense of artists?
Well, that was hugely influenced by mom's fears.
Oh.
My mom had this thing where at the end of my P7 she pleaded with me to at least get to senior 4 and then I can do whatever I want, because she was convinced I was not going to go through with studies. And then at my senior 4 she sort of pleaded with me, please do till senior 6.
Did you have interest in school?
I mean, I was determined to finish school, but as far as mom was concerned, this guy is definitely going on TV. He's not going to be studying, right?
Yeah.
So at Form 6, she's like, you know what? I pushed you this far. Fine, you can do whatever you want. I told mom, relax. I really want to study. And I went ahead and sort of like actually sounded like I sourced other forms of payment for my tuition at the campus to prove to her that I was serious about going to school, right? I guess that also in a way kept me in check in terms of career choices. Not to say that DJing is a bad career choice. Right. But it just wasn't, I think, ideal for me. So when I did a bit of writing way up to Form 6, at that point, my interest in the DJing and entertainment industry and my love for writing sort of merged. And I joined a Vision Group under Swag, that teenage pull-out thing. I wrote with Swag.
How long was that? How long back is that? Were you still in school?
I was 2012. Vacation. Yeah.
Right.
So I wrote with Swag for a bit, a few pieces here and there. Then I joined campus. When I was joining campus, I knew for sure that I wanted to do mass communication, because that's something that, was in line with all my career interests in the past. DJing, writing, rap, everything. Mass communication had a connection to everything, right? But when it came to majoring, I realized, you know what, I've had a bit of practice and experience with writing, so maybe I should just build on that with learning a whole new skill set. So I sort of majored in broadcast, which is basically TV and radio, and took it up from there.
Here we are. You're a YouTuber. I didn't mention that. Yes. So is that when you look at the broadcast? Jesus, I'm thinking about the podcast.
Breathe.
Think about the podcast.
Okay.
When you think about broadcast, is this what inspired you to get into this? Not podcast. Oh, it is a broadcast.
Say it with me. Broadcast.
Broadcast. BR. Oh, I'm used to the podcast. Jesus Christ. Yes. So is that the background? Is that the basis on which you get to come up with Afrimillennial?
Pretty much, honestly. When I majored in broadcast, I grew a love for film. I grew a love for audio production. Another bit of my history that I probably didn't tell you was that we got a TV set at my place pretty much a little bit late. Like a bit later than everybody else at school had gotten a TV set.
What do you mean by at your place?
At home.
Is it?
Growing up, So by the time we got a TV set at home, I'd had all about TV from like everybody else in the class, right? So at that point, I had this revenge thing where I consumed as much TV as I could to make sure, to take in everything. And my interest from there grew from, what I was watching to wanting to find out how it's made. How TV is made, how film is made. Just like you wanted to know how DJs were fixing themselves in the radio.
Not even just the DJ, like if they're reading news. I imagine there was a chair in the radio. So when they opened it and they didn't see nothing, I was like, where is this person from?
It's the same thing. So when I got to campus and I majored in broadcast, I had this whole interest on learning how exactly film is made. How do they patch things together? How do they creatively come from this scene to another scene? and how do they patch them together to make like a whole beautiful story, right?
Yeah.
And I learned a lot of that from UCU, where I majored in broadcast. And then I did a bit of practice from there on. Not as a practicing journalist, sadly, but as a content creator for my own blog, which I had already started from the time I was writing for Swag, right?
Yeah.
I just morphed my blog from a text-only site to something that was more audio-visual.
Right.
Yeah, it had a bit of video content and things of the sort. So I did that with Afrimillennial for a bit. And the nature of the content in Afrimillennial has grown over the years from, motivational pieces during my unemployed time, telling everybody to leave their jobs and join me in unemployment and be our own bosses.
You were doing that?
Yeah.
What?
Did
you actually believe in the gospel?
I was unemployed, right?
No.
Everybody else was taking up jobs.
Are you doing it in good faith or?
No, I like to believe that it was a consolation, right? It was a self-consolation.
Yeah.
You don't need these people. You can make your own jobs. You can make your own money. Yeah. So I did that for a bit. And then I think a year down the unemployment road, it hit me, you know what? You need a job. You need to work for somebody. You need to make money so you can employ yourself.
Yeah.
Right? So with every stage of my career, I think came certain changes to what I wanted to do with Afrimillennial.
Yeah.
So that grew from just motivational pieces about being your own boss, to talking about the hustles and business initiatives of young people around me, small startups and small business ideas.
Yeah.
So I also did that for a bit. I've actually done that for quite a couple of years. I've interviewed a lot of people. A lot of young people have gotten their ideas out there, their creativity out there, linked them up with potential clients here and there. Fast forward, in comes the pandemic of the century, coronavirus. So we all know coronavirus came with all these adaptations to business, right? Everybody had to adapt and see how to keep their businesses afloat in the times of the coronavirus. And mostly for young people, that meant going digital for their businesses and their startups, taking all their businesses online, forsaking the physical spaces where, curfew and lockdown was not allowing them to go anymore. So that opened up a realization to me that you've been communicating about these people's startups, but we've never really built their capacity to tell the stories on their own, right?
On their own.
Yes. Because another thing that I learned from my career at this particular point, I was working with Restless Development, an NGO in Tinder. One thing that I learned from them is that it's one thing to tell stories about someone's work or somebody's initiatives. It's a whole other thing
for them to tell their own
place
story.
The power in their hands to tell their own story, because they're more passionate about it. They know what to say about their business. They know at what point to change the details about their business depending on how it's progressing, right? So that then informed the adaptation of Afrimillennial from just a blog to a content marketing consultancy and service provider. So basically just come up with a whole rate card on how to provide services to small startups that might need photography and videography for their products, to enable them to go online and sell their products and services. And then also a brief consultancy to sort of take you through what you need to look out for in terms of content that sells, where to place your content, at what time frames of the day to place your content so that you can reach the people that you ideally want to reach out to.
I'm glad I'm a customer client.
Drum roll, people.
I use your services at least. So you've spoken about a blog.
Yes.
As early as your vacation. How did you know this exists? I mean, in our age, I don't know, did you hear about Breakthrough?
No.
This is there's a platform. You see how there is google.com for emails. in Zambia. I don't know if it was just meant for Zambia girls, but that was breakthrough. I actually found it somewhere in Nagalama as well.
Yeah.
And that is all I knew about. Personally, that is all I knew about the internet. Emails.
Yeah.
Of course, other kids knew stuff.
Yeah.
But then I don't think they knew much as far as blogs.
Yeah.
How did you find about a blog as early as your vacation? I didn't know anything on the internet, really.
Yeah. The thing about blogs is that it's something I think you find out if your particular field of interest is in the spaces where things like blogs thrive, right?
Right.
Now, the thing about writing, especially for a news house or a media house, is that out of every 10 pieces or every 10 stories you write, 6 are bound to get kicked out and 4 are bound to get featured.
Okay.
I mean, this can be informed by a lot of things. Maybe there's something with how you communicated the story. It's probably not sounding objective. Maybe it's too emotional. Maybe it doesn't serve the interests of key stakeholders of the media house where you're working.
Yeah.
Maybe it doesn't represent the brand of the media house. A lot of factors, really. But what that then means, wow, tongue twister, is that you need a space where you can host all the work that you're feeling particularly good about that failed to make it to the space where your employer is, right? And what that then means, I need to stop trying to get that one right, is that you start up a blog and you feature all this content that probably didn't feature elsewhere, right? So that's basically how the WordPress blog started. It was just a site I put aside for the things I felt like writing about, but I knew would not feature in the newspaper because probably they're not swag material, but they're still an opinion that I have, right? So that's how I started up with the whole blog thing.
So we have the bloggers in Uganda. Are you a blogger?
Yeah.
Do you identify yourself as a blogger?
I've always had issues with that question because the essence of blogging is that it's supposed to be a space where you can write about anything you want, however way you want, and however often you want to, right? It's the beauty of blogging is that it's this limitless space. Yeah. No boundaries, no rules, nothing. So I feel disturbed when people say, oh, this person is a blogger and this person is writing but they're not a blogger, because blogging is pretty much what you make it. It's like successful blogs about cats. There's successful blogs about one pizza, and it's like just try onions today, try green pepper tomorrow, try kachumbari tomorrow, then try what's that seasoning thing called?
Aromat
the day after, right? So that's I guess I'd identify as a blogger. And when it comes to the grand scheme of things, anybody that wants to identify as a blogger and is writing on a site ideally should be a blogger in a way or another.
I have a problem with the people that call themselves bloggers currently.
Yeah.
The ones that are really fronted.
Yeah.
The likes of, what's that boy's name that said he's going to report Facebook?
Ashbag.
Yes, that one.
Yeah.
He calls himself a blogger, and when you keep writing on Facebook, does that make you a blogger? Because I don't think he has a site of his own, like a blog.
Well,
you find people of his caliber coming out and they say, I'm a blogger. So right now, when someone comes like, are you sure?
I mean, the thing about content creation is that it evolves every day. Yeah. Right? Yeah. It evolves literally every hour, really. And the bigger thing about media, not just social media, is that the consumer is normally king. So
they give you what they want.
Yeah. Where we write, what we write, why we write, have basically been put at the whim of who we are writing for, the consumer, right? Yeah. So if I have a WordPress blog, and ideally the people that I'm trying to reach are more on Facebook than they are on WordPress.
You're going to ship.
It's a bit hard to redirect them all the time to come to my WordPress, right?
Right.
It would make sense if I'm writing for a niche audience who I know at any point will come to my blog, even if they have to go through 4 or 5 hyperlinks.
Yeah.
But if I'm trying to write for masses, the ideal is to write on the spaces where those people are.
Yeah.
Like bring the message to them. Don't ask them to come and find the message where you put it. Yeah. That's why, terms like social media blogger are now coining up to sort of like accommodate
social media blogger.
Yeah, so that's a thing now. Social media blogger to sort of accommodate people like Ashbag Cattle.
Oh yeah, I hadn't heard of I hadn't heard of it as going as far as social media blogger.
Yeah.
I only thought about blog, and I knew blog for something different. So when they would come out and say blog, like, are you serious? No, you're not.
Yeah.
Okay, in your field as a media consultant.
Yeah.
And a content creator. King.
Okay.
Really, you're always about content creation. What has your experience been with the people that come to you? In as far as the things that they struggle with, things that they cannot easily crack on themselves without a consultant of your kind?
I think the one thing that really stands out is that it just never really hits people how much they can achieve with how little they have already.
Okay.
Yeah. Because when people come to you for a content marketing consultancy, what they have in mind is that you're going to come with like a whole kit and like tripods and stuff, and then like take them through all these things and slap a budget in their faces that probably wants like 3.5 million to like put a whole thing together, which ideally is maybe something I would propose to a bigger SME or a big corporation, right? But but at the level of young people that we are, one thing that really blows the minds of people that come to consult about content creation and content marketing is how much they realize has always been around them, how much they could have worked with that they did not realize they had. Starts from like small things like your smartphone. Did you know that if you work with this white towel, it creates a cool background for your services, for your products, for your small sized products? Did you know that having just a conversation about anything in the space where your products are located, even if it's not really related to your products or services, could drive attention towards the products and services that are in the background as placement, while people are paying attention to what the conversation is about. So it's pretty much just bringing to their attention the things that they already have that they can work with as they create budgets to take on more and do more content creation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. With your activity on social media.
Yeah.
Have you spent a day without social media?
Yeah.
Or should we get...
But under duress, because... under duress, because... recently we had the whole presidential election stuff, and we were unanimously off social media for a couple of days. So
that's
if you're asking if I've been,
okay, yes, that's.
If I've been off social media for days, yes, I have.
Oh my goodness! How long was that? How many days was that? Like
quite a bit of time.
5 days or more? Was it more than a week?
I think it lasted a week or so.
5, like from a Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Thursday, like 5 until Monday afternoon.
Yeah. But anyway, besides that, I do take social media breaks time and again.
Yeah.
But especially on the platforms where I feel that it's really taking a toll on me.
Yeah.
I don't have to like take a whole social media break off. Yeah.
Oh, so you just get to take a break off a particular platform?
Yeah. I find that social media junkies more than often have a stronghold, right, on one of the platforms or two, right? You'll find that somebody is really, really strong at Twitter. You find that somebody is really, really strong at WhatsApp marketing, which is becoming a thing now.
WhatsApp marketing?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, it's becoming a thing now. Yeah. You'll find that somebody's strong at Facebook, which I'd like to think is where my stronghold is.
Yeah.
But I think what then happens is that your stronghold is more than often also the place where a lot is coming at you, because that's where you're, most popular.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to recognize times when it gets too much for you and take brief breaks from it and then come back when you're rejuvenated.
What is it like when it's too much for you?
Well, the first thing that I always tell myself is that it's my social media.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So it hits me that this has become too much for me. I'm very, very conscious of the fact that what I do with my social media is up to me. So I just let a notification out, maybe a WhatsApp status. I take regular breaks off WhatsApp, maybe a WhatsApp status, and say, you know what, I'm going to be off WhatsApp for a couple of days. In case it's urgent, please let me know and call.
Yeah.
Naturally, there's all sorts of reactions. Oh, attention seeking. Oh, you don't have to inform us. Oh,
is it?
Oh, yeah, that comes a lot. But
really? Attention seeking?
Yeah, by all counts down to the fact that what I'm doing with my WhatsApp is really my business.
Yeah.
How you feel about it is your business. So that can't have anything to do with me.
Yeah, but then now we're looking at you taking breaks.
Yeah.
What inspired these breaks? Because I assume when you get into social media,
yeah,
it's exciting in that moment. Like,
yes,
you start, when you get to realize something, you just consume so much of it.
Yeah.
When was that point when you felt like, I think I need to be taking breaks?
Well, despite what a lot of people might think, social media is only like a third of my life.
Yes.
I have a lot more other things going on besides social media. So I think it just always gets to a point where you have so much else going on, that you don't really have the time to pay attention to all
social media platforms.
Social media platforms, and to avoid coming off as somebody ignoring people on WhatsApp or ignoring people's comments on Facebook, you just sort of let them know, you know what, I'm going to be unavailable for a bit of time. If it's something urgent, just reach out to me on alternative channels. And you sort of take your break.
Okay, I took a break. My first time to take a break of social media happened last year.
Okay.
In November. Personally, I used to feel like I can't do without the internet.
Yeah.
Okay, the internet was still running.
Yeah.
But I got off social media. And I realized how peaceful it was.
Yeah.
Because now in that moment when I took the break, there was going on, people being killed, the police shooting at people, following Bobby Wine and all those things. I just woke up and I talked to myself. I was like, you know what? Take a break.
Yeah.
But then I was scared. I was like, are you sure? That's the unknown. The unknown is scary, you know? So I was like, 1 hour. Okay, I've managed an hour. Let's try the second. But I kept checking my phone. Like, I would find my hands reaching for the phone. And I was like, no, you're on a break. And then I'd relax, like, this is the third hour. I'm going to die. What is this? But then in that moment, I kept how you get to find out something. Yeah. And now you want to find out more. Yeah. It became a challenge. Before I knew it, one day was gone. I was like, oh, I'm an adult. I can manage this. And then the second day, and then a week. And then in that moment when I was off social media, Facebook, actually it's all social media. Okay, apart from YouTube, because now I was going there too for music. Yeah. I realized how peaceful I was. Mm-hmm. I had no anxiety issues because now with the FOMO, you keep checking the phone. And then you have to refresh the notifications, but actually there is nothing.
Yeah.
You have to go on your phone and scroll through nothing because you're not seeing anything. I was so much at peace. But now what brought me back, and I didn't want to come back, I had a scheduled call on Zoom. and I had to connect my phone on the internet.
Zoom meeting.
But I was scared.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, what is going to flood at me when I get back?
Yeah.
It was so peaceful to a point that I didn't want to get back to social media. Yeah. So how do you manage? I'm wondering, how do you find it so easy?
Yeah.
Don't you get affected by these negative side effects of social media, like the anxiety and FOMO, this fear of missing out? You're trying to check your phone all the time and all those kinds of things, and then you take a break and then you just come in so peacefully without, like, nothing really happened.
Well, I mean, not to say there's no negative effects of social media.
Yeah.
I just think I've learned over time to be a bit more proactive on how I curb down the negative side of my being on social media. Again, like I already said, that collectively came with coming to acknowledge the fact that my social media is my social media.
Yeah.
Totally up to me what I do with it. Totally up to me who I keep there. Totally up to me who I need to go.
Yeah.
So I know that there's points where the platform is not the problem. The social media channel is not the problem.
Right.
The problem is who you're interacting with on the platform, right? I mean, FOMO does not come from Instagram as a platform. Yeah. FOMO comes from what content you're getting from Instagram, which is informed by who you're following on Instagram. Right. So when I was still unemployed,
yes,
I followed all these Instagram accounts about Abu Dhabi kind of living, right?
Is it?
Yeah, private jets, colored the same as Maybachs. Rolls Royce, colored the same as your G-Wagon and stuff like that. And for a very long time, I was of the impression that it was inspiring me to want to be something. Then over time, I realized, this is just taking a toll on my mental state.
Because it's not even coming any closer.
Yes, it's not coming closer, and somebody would look at it as something to look up to. Me, I just felt like it was putting unnecessary pressure on my back over what to want to be. And so I unfollowed the accounts and set myself to a more realistic timeline with achieving the things that I want to achieve, right?
Right.
The other thing now comes back down to the people that you relate with on social media. If you feel that they're bringing FOMO your way, if you feel that, they're affecting your mental state, if maybe they're saying something about the position of women in society, they are constantly saying something about that, and you're not comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Please, you need to normalize letting those people go. Right?
Love them from afar.
Yeah. If somebody, I'm a very opinionated person, right? I have a lot of views on a lot of things, and I openly express them.
Yeah.
If I say something, you're not obliged to agree with me. And if you do not agree with me, you're free to counter, you're free to respond to me.
Right.
Or if it has really, really hurt you that bad, you're really, really, really free to cut me off and just set yourself free. Because I don't want to be the person that is throwing opinions down people's throats at the expense of their mental well-being, right?
Yeah.
So I just think to deal with this whole negative space, we need to put ourselves into a space where we proactively create safe spaces for ourselves online, right? Normalize unfollowing people, normalize blocking people, normalize unfriending people. And it goes for both ends. The person blocking and the blocked person, please look at it as normal. The other person,
sometimes it's so
you just don't agree.
Painful.
No. we just not agree, and that should be okay.
Yeah.
That should be okay for both of us.
Yeah, but at some point I feel like the disagreement should not cause you to cut out people. We need to live in a space whereby we accept other people's opinions in a healthy manner.
That's the thing. That's the thing. We really, really, really need to be accommodative. Yeah. I agree. Because the grand scheme is to live in a utopia place where everybody's opinion is appreciated and accepted.
Yeah.
Right? But if it comes to a point, right, that your worldview, based on how you've been raised, based on your religion, based on, the people who grew you, what schools you went to, so strongly disagrees with what I have to say about it.
Yeah.
Right? And you do not see yourself changing. Right? At that point, you need to recognize that your interaction with me is not going to change anything about how you think.
Right.
Right? So, one, you can ignore me. Two, if you don't see yourself ignoring me, please take a break from me.
Yeah.
Like, just take a break from me.
Meanwhile, I think people don't know about the button of snoozing people. There is that button.
People are really not aware about these options. Yes, you can take a break from people.
Can you imagine? I saw something like, take a break.
Yeah, you can take a break from people on Facebook.
It's a new button.
I don't know if it is, but I've seen that. Yeah.
No, there is one of snoozing someone for a month. There's a time when someone was toxic. I phoned her and I found her funny, and then she reached a period where she was toxic. I snoozed her for a month, and then after a month, I had even forgotten about her. She popped up again. I was like, oh, a month has elapsed. And now I follow her stuff like very well. Like, okay, there's a lot more peace here.
I mean, there've been people on Facebook who we have a whole argument with on a thread, right?
Yeah.
And how that thread ends is with a person letting you know what? I've just come to acknowledge that we shall never agree.
Okay.
And you're like, yeah, I recognize that. And they're like, okay. And the next time you check them out, they unfriended you. And that's okay. Trust me, I'm not going to come to your inbox and say, oh, what's up? Why did you unfriend me? And
let me tell you what happened.
That's not going to be me.
There's a way how I had a formal unfriending that happened to me, I think still last year.
Yeah.
There was this guy who was really funny. I won't say his name.
Yeah.
So I found him very interesting and I started following him. And then I posted a picture of me. Was it a picture or was it just a post in text? And then he went sexual in the comment box. So, idiot. I went to his inbox and asked him not to be sexual on my page. Yeah. I don't do that.
Yeah.
And he went and unfriended me and informed me. And he was like, I have unfriended you. It was nice knowing you.
And you're like, good.
No, I was in shock. I was like, hey, really? Like, so you cannot, but maybe it's for us to protect both of us.
Exactly.
Possibly he can't do without sexualizing.
Maybe he realizes he's at a point where he doesn't know how to address you from, the way you want him to address you. And he has this whole thing about how he wants to communicate. Yes, that's probably how his line to communicate. I'm not creating excuses for his kind.
People are different.
I'm not creating excuses for his kind. It's just, if he's taken the initiative to unfriend you, that's honestly good riddance.
He was like, nice to know you. I was like, hey. Yeah,
good riddance. You're like, have fun. Have fun.
Right. So you've, as a media consultant, for people that are looking for specialists, specialists in content creation, how do these people reach you? How do the listeners get to reach you?
Well, first things first. Recently worked on a new website with a brilliant service provider called EdgePress. Shout outs to EdgePress Cloud.
Yeah, I know the person.
Yeah, I think we have a more user-friendly look now. So you can visit www.afrimillennial.com.
Okay.
That's with 2 L's and 2 N's. 2 L's in the middle and 2 N's in the middle. Yeah, it plays a lot of people.
Can you spell it?
Afrimillennial, that's AFRI, then 2 L's there.
Afrimi.
Afrimi. Oh.
You've missed.
Okay, let's go again. FARIMI, 2 L's, I, 2 N's.
IAL.
IAL. There's an E missing somewhere there.
Afrimillennial. It's with after L.
After the two L's, there's an E. Okay.
Afrimillennial.
Let's do a last shot. Yeah. www.afrimi, two L's, an E, two N's, IAL.com. Afrimillennial.com. Right?
How else can they contact you?
How else they can contact me is that they can reach out to me by email. That's Tony@afrimillennial.com.
Okay. Tony as
Tony, yeah.
Single
at
N.
Afrimillennial.com. Then they can always reach out to me on WhatsApp or phone call at 0790
right
970
It's finished.
The dialing code is 256 for Uganda. Yeah. 0790
You're expecting international
970 970. Please bring business from the Bahamas and Barbados. Yeah.
Is the R pronounced in Barbados?
Yeah, but I don't know.
All right, thank you so much.
Stealing my shine.
Barbados.
Peeing on my parade. What a host is this?
Thank you so much for coming along.
Thank you. This was beautiful. Thank you.
We are glad to have had a moment with you.
Pleasure is mine. Thank you, everybody, for listening in. Cheers.
Bye-bye. My takeaway lesson from this episode is that content creation evolves. Hey, this thing moves. You move, it moves. You move, it moves. No wonder it's hard. I am privileged to have had Mwami with me on this episode, and I feel like I'm on a content creation height when I think about the combination of last week's and this week's episodes. The two guests in those episodes are people that I've always admired in the creative industry, and I couldn't hoard all their gems to myself. That's why I had to bring them for you so that you take away gems that resonate with you too. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Hashtag with Nabuguzi Kiwanuka. If you loved what you heard, make sure you are subscribed to Hashtag with Nabuguzi Kiwanuka in your podcast platform of choice and share it with your contact list. Tell them that this is where the growth is. Collect all your friends, go and tell it on the mountain. Call all of them to hear all this that is happening on Hashtag with Nabuguzi Kiwanuka. Please make sure you rate this show and leave a 5-star review, whether you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Castbox, or wherever you choose to listen. Feel free to also share the insights on whatever connected with you on social media, and be sure to tag us. A moment of silence. Okay, that's done for people that have died. Wait, I have to take this opportunity to recognize Awili Anna Grace, Dr. Awili Anna Grace. You guys need to check her out. On Facebook. Does she exist anywhere else? Yeah, that was Awili. That's someone that always tags us. So on Facebook and Instagram, we are at Hashtag with Nabuguzi Kiwanuka, and on Twitter we are at HTNK Podcast. HTNK is all caps lock and podcast is in small case, but it is all one word, HTNK Podcast. And me, I am Nabuguzi Kiwanuka everywhere. Until next time, have the courage to evolve. Catch you next episode. Happy Easter, yes. Happy Easter, happy new month, happy end of this month, happy everything. I wish you the very best into your next quarter of this year. I think that will make it half a year. Bye-bye.